TOMz.
When we get TOMz, to another awesome afternoon with teenagers on a mission. SABC 1, Zanzi for sure. SABC Education.
And of course, we have another exciting episode coming out your way. We are finding all about the science of growing up. There's a natural process that happens in our bodies when we change from children to being adults. That process is called puberty.
In puberty, hormones are released physically, enter into the wild world of adulthood.
What does it all mean? How do the changes happen? At what age do they happen at? So
coming up next on TOMz, we find out more about how hormones cause puberty. We find out all about the menstrual cycle and exactly how you can handle it. We get the full story on male circumcision. We find out about a career helping people as a social worker. And in Clockwise, we'll learn all about some pretty weird traditions from around the world that enter people into adulthood. In places before, their voices become deeper and
what's behind all these changes and why do they happen? It can happen at different times for umuntu. There's no fixed age where we start to physically grow up.
Late. We hit the streets to find out about Nina, what you guys thought about growing up.
Check it out.
How old is someone before they turn into a man or a woman?
I think it's above 18 years old.
I think it depends on whether you are able to make decisions for yourself and how those decisions impacts other people.
There's no age to manhood or womanhood. I just believe it has to do with maturity.
Ganjan, okay, what is adolescence?
I think it's a stage where a young person goes through while they are teenagers.
Okay, cool. What is testosterone?
Hormone out.
And what is estrogen?
Estrogen hormone
Testosterone is a human productive hormone that is stimulated in males.
Okay. And what is estrogen?
That's a hormone that is found in females.
Okay. Shout out to TOMz.
Shout out to TOMz.
Mzansi. For shizzle.
For shizzle.
We out.
Estrogen is a hormone produced by women and testosterone is a hormone produced by men. As the hormones are responsible for making us male or female, they are first released at the time of puberty. All
males and females of most species release these hormones and they are very powerful things. If we release excess testosterone, for example, we become more aggressive as men.
If we release excess estrogen, we become more emotional.
Let's get to the bottom of the process of puberty and see exactly what happens in our bodies when we start to become adults.
Puberty is the name for the time when your body begins to develop and changes as you become an adult. Develop amabele and boys start to look more like men. During the period of puberty, your body will grow faster than any other time in your life, except for when you were a baby. Usually, puberty starts between the ages of 8 and 13 in girls and ages 9 and 15 in boys. So when you're at the age when puberty starts, some of your friends may still look young while others look more grown up. Puberty, your pituitary gland, a pea-shaped gland at the bottom of your brain, releases special hormones. Depending on whether you're a boy or ntombazana, these hormones go to work on different parts of the body. For boys, the hormones travel through the blood and tell the testes to begin making testosterone and sperm. Testosterone is the hormone that causes most of the changes in a boy's body during puberty. Hormones target the two ovaries. The hormones cause the ovaries to start making another hormone called estrogen. These hormones prepare a girl's body to start her periods and be able to become pregnant. So the changes are different for boys and girls. One of the things is that girls start to menstruate or they have their period.
They call it that time of the month. And when a girl has her first period, it means we
need to take special care of ourselves.
About exactly what is born, what's going on. Check it out.
Sisaqhubeka ngemishini yethu and namhlanje sikhuluma nge-sexual reproduction. We just touched down at Kwakwa to find out more about puberty. You guys are ready to learn because right now I'm out. So wena makunjani?
Khona baba unjani?
Ngiyaphila. Ngicela ungitshele ukuthi what do you do?
Oh mina baba ngisi-school health nurse. Sine team la eQwaqwa ye-school health nurses. Sihamba izikolo zonke zala eQwaqwa. I-target yethu i-grade 1, 4, 8 and 10. Sibafundisa ukuthi bakwazi ukuxubha amazinyo ukuthi amazinyo axujwa njani. Ukuthi mabegeza baqala kuphi. Ayehle njalo ufikela eqeda ugeza. Sibafundisa and sifuna ubona ukuthi bazigeza noma basizwa ngabazali na.
What is puberty?
I-puberty iqala kwi-age 10 to 15 uqala ebona ama-changes. Lama changes siyabafundisa ukuthi aqala kuphi. Enye nenye into kukho lapho iqhambuka khona. So siyabatshela ukuthi yonke into iqala ekhanda. Uma iqala ekhanda kukho i-center lapho. Lapho kulo center sifumana i-pituitary gland. Le pituitary gland iproduce ama-gonads. Lama gonads ehle njalo kwima males produce into esibiza ukuthi i-testosterone. Kumantombazana ayo testosterone i-estrogen ne-progesterone. Mabili kumantombazana. Then lama gonads are responsible ukuthi enze lama changes zibakhona ziphuma lapho zicontrolwa lapho ukuthi ipenis ibe enlarged. Zonke lezi zinto kade bekhuluma ngazo. Kumantombazana ne-menstruation icontrola lapho aqedele iyehla njalo aqedele esekebona i-menstruation intombazana. Njengoko sengikhulumile ngithi ngibafanisela ne-wall. Le wall ngithe iyagrabheka ne. Ma igrabheka i-menstruation izovela ne. So i-obvious ukuthi ma into igrabheka kukho ubuhlungu obuzabakhona. That's why abanye bazozofila nje ipain encane la, omunye afile ipain at the lower abdominal pain, lower abdominal. And then kulapho ezawuthi mayebheka ipad yakhe afumane engathi unama clots ne. Kungokuba leya wall iye yawa ngithi. Kodwa ke emva kwesikhathi ithatha 1 to 5 days. Kodwa ke abantu bayadifara. Omunye uya 3 days menstruator, omunye uya abo 5 days.
So kenzakalani? Is it natural? Is it natural?
Yes, it's natural. Kungako bethanda ukuthi ngesinye isikhathi bathi banesilumi. Bathanda usebenzisa lo term ukuthi unesilumi ne.
Ukuba sexesheni ke akunyanzelekanga ukuba kube nzima. Thina singamantombazana we can easily manage it every month, and there are even useful cell phone apps apho ke sifunde ngazo in cyberspace and can help you predict when to expect it.
Ukukhula ngaba nzima, but it's also exciting. It means that we are almost ready to go into the world and make a better living for ourselves. But we need to also be responsible for our own health and well-being. So Tinaga Sitiyazu Tin, keep looking after yourself, TOMz.
We'll be getting all the facts on male circumcision, something that is done traditionally and medically on boys and men. Lie down. TOMz. So I'm going to get to another exciting TOMz show. Lela indeed is teenagers on a mission. SABC 1 Zanzi for sure.
But the processes we go through, puberty, and exactly how our bodies change when we become amadoda no mamat misfaza.
Now, since I've about menstrual cycle earlier on, and it's important that we keep ourselves up to date with all the relevant info on how it is made to sebenza. So, if you missed any of the info on the show, kumbula kaloku kuya ku website yethu ufumana as TOMz on www.tomz.co.za.
Ungakhohlwa ukhuluma nathi Facebook na Twitter with your thoughts about the show, because TOMz is all about you, and we cannot wait to catch up with you on our social segment a little bit later on, so don't miss that. In the Xhosa culture, boys are often circumcised before being considered men. The boys are shaved and taken into the mountains. They then live in isolation while a surgeon comes to circumcise them.
Until they have healed completely. Now, this is still a widely spread practice up in South Africa, why it is considered to be a traditional way that a Xhosa boy becomes a man.
But it also has something to do, or rather, it also has been something that many medical professionals have argued about, because traditional circumcision is not believed to be done in a healthy and safe way.
Why there are medical advantages to it is always advised that it should be done by a medical professional.
Just what are those advantages, and what exactly does it mean to be circumcised? Skunmega with a professional to find out.
And we're trying to find out about sexual reproduction. This kind of last about circumcision. How are you doing, brother?
Fine, thanks, and yourself.
All right.
No, I'm good, man.
Welcome to TOMz.
Great pleasure. Thank you very much.
So, where are we and what do you do?
We are in Springs at the local clinic here. I'm a surgeon at the local MMC clinic, male medical circumcision clinic. As my scrub clearly says, it's New Start, and the truck that we're standing here behind will be basically here on a campaign to come and perform male medical circumcisions to the community. A male medical circumcision is basically the surgical removal of the foreskin from the penis.
Why is there such an idea of circumcision?
Because of the plight of HIV and AIDS within our continent, Africa as a whole. The government and the Department of Health has somehow been in talks and trying to find means and ways, strategies to somehow try and reduce or cut back the risk and the sort of rate of reinfection, of infection. So this is sort of a means and ways of trying to reduce the number of HIV infections. So what happens with male medical circumcision? How is it important with reducing the risk of HIV? It has been found through studies and because of how we build anatomy, physiology, that with the removal of the foreskin, it actually reduces the risk of contracting the disease by almost 60%.
Yes, so tell us about the procedure. How does it go?
All males are welcome. So we start from boys from the age of 10 up to the age of 65. Patients will come in, say that they're interested, of course. There's a screening process that obviously happens. We also encourage our clients, or our patients for that matter, to also undergo HIV counseling and testing, which we also do, which is also a service that we render to them. Following that, the patient would undergo medical screening, just a sort of medical history. We'll take a medical history, do a physical examination, see if the people actually meet criteria to undergo the surgical procedure. Then they're following that, they will go into theatre, will be operated on, will get post-op care, whereby they'll be checked that they're okay, they're well, physically stable, physically fit after the procedure. And then following that, we have regular reviews, whereby we check whether the patient's wound is healing, whether their general state of health is still okay, whether they're taking good care of themselves at home.
Tell me about the benefits.
Male medical circumcision has proven to reduce the risk of HIV infection by 60%. It's actually a cleaner option. Once you have the male foreskin removed, it actually improves your hygiene. It's also said to reduce the risk of surgical cancer in women, cross-infection, of course.
So, about the process circumcision. What do I do? What do I need to have when I get to the location?
You'd get there, of course. We just need sort of proof of some sort of identification, with an ID, driver's license, whatever the case may be. You'll undergo the registration procedure, whereby you'll fill up a patient file. Basically, take all your biographical data, etc., etc. You will then be sent to a group information session, whereby the counselor at the clinic will explain the whole process of MMC, the benefits like we spoke about, possible risks that are associated with MMC, talk about HIV and AIDS and how it affects you, etc., etc., and how about keeping safe and living responsibly. You'll then be led to a one-on-one counseling session. HIV counseling and testing will be done. This is an optional phase of the whole program. You will then be led to the screening department. Basically, in the screening department, that's where, of course, you are screened to check whether you have any pre-existing medical conditions. Depending on what we find there, if there's a need for maybe further referral to another institution, or maybe treatment of a certain condition that you have before you undergo the surgical procedure, we do that for you. It's either we refer you to another facility of care, or we treat certain conditions that we have the sort of means to do so. If there isn't anything that omits you or stops you from going through with the procedure, we then put you through. You'll go into theatre. You'll get local anesthesia. You'll get cleaned and prepared for the surgery, and then afterwards the procedure will begin.
A circumcision is often performed before he leaves isibhedlele and often within the first 2 days of impilo yakhe.
Now in the Jewish faith, it is performed in a special ceremony when a baby is 8 days old. The foreskin that covers the head of the penis is removed to expose the head.
Now, normally a procedure causes very little bleeding and stitches aren't needed. A protective bandage might be used, but the wound normally heals on its own within a week or 10 days. For non-religious reasons as well as religious. For example, Jewish people as well as Muslims traditionally circumcise abantwana babo xa besanukubelekwa.
In the Philippines, it is also a tradition with boys usually being circumcised in a coming-of-age ritual in a similar way to Xhosa culture.
It is also common practice in South Korea for hygiene reasons.
It is also very common in infants in the USA, but in Australia, the rate of circumcision on baby boys has dropped over the last 40 years, from 90% to between 10 to 20%. Something to think about while we take a quick commercial break.
We go back in time in Clockwise to find out about coming-of-age rituals from all over the world. We check out some amazing online content for cyberspace. Kwaye we get some awesome career advice. Siyabuya uzunga indawo. TOMz. TOMz. TOMz apha kwigumbi lase-SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. Sibulela bacela umqinkqubo bethu SABC Education.
Sisifunda okuningi kakhulu about the physical things that happen to us uma sikhula and go through puberty, like the menstrual cycle and male circumcision kuma cultures ahlukahlukene. And asayibing kuphela lapho, because we have lots and lots of more coming your way.
We've also checked out all the hormonal changes as it is zenzeka emizimbeni yethu xa sikhula, kwaye sayazi uba wonke umuntu wohlukile. Now ukukhula physically happens at different times for different people, and there's no right or wrong age to grow up. Abanye bethu bloom early and some of us bloom later. Let's keep finding out more.
Let's get it.
Ukukhula ke akusoloko kulula. Ngamanye amaxesha you feel like you're not quite a man or woman yet. Kodwa ke you also feel like awumntana anymore, even though ke umama notata basakuphatha njengomntana.
Yeah, we've all had that when abongisipho, but growing up is even more difficult kumanyama cultures, and it has been throughout history. In certain cultures from around the world, there are specific rituals that happen as people enter into their lives as adults. So I was telling Gabanzi about this in Clockwise.
In many traditions around the world, there are special ceremonies or rituals that people have to go through before they are considered adults. Like in the Aztec Empire, a boy began his military training at 17 and could only be considered a man once he captured an enemy and brought him back as his prisoner to be sacrificed. Amakonga and the Satare Mao tribe live deep in amazing jungle and have to wear gloves made with bullet ants in them. The ants have their stingers facing inwards and have one of the most painful bites in the insect world. Before the boys are considered men, they have to wear the gloves for 10 minutes without moving or showing any sign of pain. The women of the Fulo tribe in West Africa must have their faces tattooed in a long process involving a sharp piece of wood before they are actually allowed to marry and considered an adult. And in Western culture, girls often celebrate their sweet 16 as a modern way of entering adulthood. Enye best way to stay educated ngomzimba wakho nayo yonke into engaphakathi kuyo is of course watching TOMz. Thina apha kaloku TOMz sinazo zonke i-facts and science info also when I was reading on how things work. But if you want more information, there's always more info online.
Ama-computer kanye nomakhalekhukhwini have become a great way to stay educated and to keep learning. So when alapeka unombuzo about what we've spoken about on today's show, then hit up your search engine for more answers.
Now there are plenty of cool sites and apps on It's amazing how we have so much information available at our fingertips.
And we've searched all over the World Wide Web and through the App Store to find the content that's relevant to you.
Cyberspace right now.
If one of you on Android, the period calendar is the best app as a to keep track of your period cycle. You can program it to tell you exactly when you can expect that time of the month, so you won't have any surprises. If you want all the facts about puberty and you need answers, visit ec4ufoundations.org for all the honest and scientific facts that you might be afraid to ask about. And for all the intimate hygiene tips you need, from feminine hygiene to facts of circumcision, visit www.health24.com to keep yourself healthy and up to date.
So ke wena apho ekhaya, keep on typing on those phones and computers and keep yourself up to date. Keep on doing emzimbeni wakho. Kwaye ke thina apha TOMz will keep looking for useful links and apps ezothi zenze ubomi bakho zibe lula cyberspace.
So namhlanje we've spoken about how humans work when bakhula, and now we are going to take a look at some of the work that humans do. So when lapha ekhaya ufuna ubingxenye abantu abafundisa abanye abantu and helping them figure out how exactly they work. Maybe you could think about a career in social work.
Social workers are professional, qualified people who help communities and individuals with everyday problems. The following fields of service can be differentiated within the profession. As a social worker, uncedisa with child and family welfare, marriage and divorce counseling, elderly care, medical social work, school social work, and more. A social worker should enjoy working with different kinds of abantu and have a desire to bazinceda abanye abantu. Ukuze ke ufune social work, udinga a national senior certificate with university entrance or a national senior certificate that meets the requirements for a diploma. These requirements can vary depending on the institution. Generally, a degree course in social work is 4 years. Ukuze ke ufumane inkcukacha ezithe vetshe, you can visit www.sacssp.co.za. Wonke umuntu ke udinga uncedo ngamanye amaxesha, kwaye that's exactly what social workers do. Banceda abantu with everyday issues apha ebomini that are often difficult problems uba kwazi usolve.
So keep hitting those books and working hard at school, and you could be helping other people out for a living. What an awesome job.
Injalo kanye akho nto wrong between ukunceda abantu wena siya nawe apha ekhaya. And ke we got some more helpful advice from indwendwe zethu zakuqhubela namhlanje about their careers.
Check it out.
Sure, Bafethu. So I've decided to share a bit of information about how to get to where I am if you want to do what I do for a living. So basically, talking about if you're in matric or grade 11, whatever the case may be, sort of subject choices that you can make, then moving forth, going to a tertiary institution. I'd advise, go for something like your maths and sciences, your biology, etc., etc. Not aware about the current curriculum, what you're studying, but then keep it there. So towards health sciences and whatsoever, be good at your math and your science, okay? Then, obviously, you can register into any higher institution of learning.
Civil engineering, I'm knocking on the door. I'm sure you know who would refer to episode yet engineering #TPE throwback episode.
But 20 years no Samuel Zimande, which is mechanical engineering. Here I come. I find it very fascinating and it can improve our country's economy.
I need our to go out there and reach your dreams. Now get before we find out no London no Samuel, go onto our Facebook and Twitter pages. www.facebook.com/TOMZ @TOMZ_SABC_1. Till then,
keep tweeting. So say all about into yenzegayo emizimeni yethu when we go through puberty. Kwaye sitshintsha from abantwana to abantu abadala.
Njengenjwayelo TOMz, it's been awesome learning all about the science behind everything. Now we got to go.
But it's okay, it's alright ngoba kaloku uyayazi bethu nani ba. Sibuye apha ngensimbi yesine ngqo enhloko in our next show. So wena uzungapho sobuye. Coming up next on TOMZ, discover umehluko between renewable and non-renewable energy resources. Find out how umbane can be generated using inkunkuma. See how scientists can turn plant products into energy and explore other natural sources that can be used for energy, including a very popular ingredient in drinks. Wena ke apha ekhaya ungalibali kaloku uphinde ubuye ubukele uTOMZ qho ngemivulo nangolwezibini ngentsimbi yesine ngqo enhloko. Sifanele apha kweli gumbi ke lase SABC1.
Exciting news, TOMz fans! This season, SABC launched with the TOMz t-shirt design competition.
Competition? Did you see I just say competition? Now what you must do is you must design a super cool image. And the image must have something to do with science and technology. Science, technology, TOMz, yes. Yeah. Then what you do is you upload it, or rather you share it on our Facebook page.
Yeah, but it's my favorite now. The picture that gets most likes, like on our Facebook page here, to be printed on the TOMz t-shirt.
Not only with Facebook, but with Twitter as well. When you can comment, then who knows? We might be delivering a t-shirt here.